The recap story of Red Dead Redemption 2. Red Dead Redemption 2 Inches is set in the late 1800s at the end of the Wild West era and follows the story of Arthur Morgan, a member of the Van der Linde gang. The game takes place across the rugged landscapes of the American heartland, from the sprawling plains of the Heartlands to the rugged peaks of the Grizzlies. As the age of outlaws comes to a close, Arthur and his fellow gang members find themselves fighting for survival in a rapidly changing world. The game begins with the Van der Linde gang on the run after a failed heist in the town of Blackwater. As tensions rise and law enforcement closes in, the gang seeks refuge in the snowy mountains of the Grizzlies. Arthur, loyal to the gang's leader, Dutch van der Linde, follows orders and does what he can to keep the group together. As the gang struggles to survive in their new mountain hideout, tensions flare and divisions emerge within the group. Arthur grapples with his loyalty to Dutch and the gang's ideals, questioning whether their way of life is worth fighting for in a world that seems increasingly hostile to outlaws. As the gang's situation becomes increasingly dire, Dutch hatches a plan to rob a train belonging to the wealthy oil magnate Leviticus Cornwall. The heist is successful, but it brings the full force of the law down upon the gang, forcing them to flee once again in search of a new home. As the gang's journey takes them across the rugged landscapes of the American heartland, Arthur grapples with his past and the choices he's made. Along the way, he forms bonds with his fellow gang members, including the young and idealistic John Marston, and wrestles with his own morality as he confronts the harsh realities of life as an outlaw. As the gang's situation becomes increasingly desperate, Dutch's leadership begins to falter, and Arthur finds himself questioning everything he once believed in. As tensions mount and betrayals come to light, Arthur must confront his own demons and decide where his loyalties truly lie. The game culminates in a climactic showdown between the Van der Linde gang and their enemies, as Arthur and John Marston fight to ensure the survival of those they care about. In the end, Arthur must make a fateful decision that will determine the fate of the gang and the legacy he leaves behind. The ending of Red Dead Redemption 2 Inches varies depending on the player's choices throughout the game. Whether Arthur's story ends in redemption or tragedy, his journey leaves a lasting impact on the world around him, shaping the events of the original Red Dead Redemption and the fate of the Marston family.